Welcome everyone. This is Nichel Anderson. I'm your host for my podcast show, Surviving Your Journey Towards Success. Thank you so much for joining me today. And this is my wrap up, my finale show for my podcast season 4. And I'm very excited as I look back to what I got accomplished, what I was able to do. And we're going to talk a little bit about that before I wrap up today and before I take my summer break. If you're just joining the show by hand, you're like, oh, a finale? Oh, I'm to the end. But actually, I take a 3-month break. I do release one episode a month on both my podcast shows. I do have another one. That other one is also on Podbean that I recently, during this season, moved it to Podbean because I felt that Podbean was a more better platform for podcast hosts. Soon I'm going to do a YouTube video on the back end if you're looking to start doing podcasting yourself. And so I'll probably do that in the future because I know when I started, I was able to have resources I could research, and people took the time to kind of break down the whole background of podcasting. So at any rate, I will do that in the future, and to do some little call outs, shout outs, or what have you, and we'll get into that as well. But yeah, so I'm very excited. Moving forward, I'll be starting my 5th season podcasting this fall. Speaking of the current season that I'm wrapping up officially today, season 4, I did a lot of interviews that I really enjoyed. I did my live podcast show live on Podbean here, and so I was very excited. We got a lot of views, I should say, and people tuning in, and I really enjoyed it. I got so busy that I have a list of people that I'm connecting with to come on my show here. So look forward to that we'll be doing definitely more guest interview shows, but as well as my usual episode of just talking about life, talking about survival, motivating you, giving you the motivation and the respect that you deserve. Because in life, it's not about titles, it's about the humanity of respecting one another and loving one another and being a family. And a family could just mean not necessarily that you're connected in a traditional sense, but in the spiritual sense of helping, as I like to say. It's the 360, babe. I like to say it's the 360, boo. But anyway, you get my little understanding of that. So let me go ahead and start with my opening prayer that I like to say, that I give thanks to the prime creator of all things, that I am grateful to the talent and to the ability to be able to present and to talk and to motivate, to encourage those that are listening to me, that I use it towards the greater good of humanity, forward moving. And in that, I welcome my survivors today. Let's go ahead and get into this. So I have the top 5 episodes of podcast shows I did for season 4. I want it to be different today. Usually on my previous finale shows, I kind of, have this theme topic. And today it's like, you know what, let me do my takeaways. I do see that people like those. I get to talk about those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that you can grab and go, because I know we're all busy. And I really enjoy motivating people. Really, when I thought about podcasting, kind of jump on that, I really didn't realize how much I really enjoy it. Really interesting, especially when I do those guest interviews. I learn so much new from other people, where they see and how their perspective on things and the wisdom that they give, right? So at any rate, let's go ahead and talk about the top 5 episodes that I did for season 4. And what I'm going to talk about is the what's planned for my season 5. And let's see. And then my summer break, I'll touch on that a bit. And then I'll leave with some type of wisdom statement that usually would be my motivational takeaway. And usually I do the, your dusk to dawn assignments. Of course, I'm not doing that. It's my last podcast. It's my last episode here on my season 4. So I'm going to keep it light, fun, entertaining, motivating. Okay? Something you can take away and remember. All right, so let's get started. So the top 5 episodes, I'm kidding. I love my live shows. They were so much fun. And if you want to just smile today, you have to go and check it out. I mean, the guests that I had, most of them were from Ghana, and they were very motivating in a sense that it really focused on literacy. And so I like the fact that I was able to have them a part of my show, that they connected with, they shared their experiences as teachers. Most of them were pretty much educators, and they they just really honed on the ability to focus on the next generation in a sense of what they need to be able to, really connect and have that ability of what resources were needed to help the students to be able to know how reading is important. And I think that's great, because reading is important, because without reading, you're not really able to get to the place that you deserve, your purpose. Everybody has a purpose. And what the educators was talking about in this live show, and this was on Podbean, was that with reading you open up new avenues to to go into other things, and that could be your career focus, or just in your family, if you're the leader of the family, you're the main household, or what have you. And so they really honed on that, and the ability of how you can overcome some obstacles. A lot of people that struggle with reading is mainly could be just their environment, the economic hardship, or what have you, or not being motivated at home. And they kind of hold on to things that you can do that you will be. So definitely take a look at that episode. And let me see, at first I started with the main ambassador, and he was great. And you can follow him on Twitter. But I definitely did a live, that was in January, and he was talking about it. And then in February, we talked about more. We kind of broke it down in that interview with him. And we also had his colleagues that was on, that I'm just mentioning, other educators on that call, on that episode. And it was great. It was just really, really great. I highly recommend it. And it really gets you in the mix that not that anything is possible, in the sense of just, you just believe and you keep moving. You got to be action forward moving. If you can take any way from that, that's what that is. And so the first, just kind of outline that first date was January the 18th, and it was Matthias Tulsi. He is the CEO of the Literacy of Ambassadors of Ghana. And on that episode, we really kind of went into what the school, it was going to be the lead up to the promotion in February, which, by the way, if you want to donate any books, they're looking for to build a library at the school, any computers, transportation, and of course, if it's any monetary donation, definitely check that out. It'll lead you to the link to where you can find more information how to do that to his school. And he basically kind of outlined on that day, January the 18th, that episode release, was how the awareness of literacy really should be a culture, should be a family thing. That's the community. And in doing that, everybody's helping one another. And you provide that efficiency and importance, outlining how reading is important for children. And he really honed on that. So that was one of the episodes there. And then February the 1st, we did that follow-up, which was part 2 of the interview with just him. And we kind of talked about a lot of things. It's a really good, so that's my second favorite episode. And then we went into where we did the live podcast show, and that was so much fun. That was my first time, and that was on February the 15th. So that theme was why literacy matters, and we had guest speakers. We had people calling in, be a part of the live event. And so definitely go and see that. We had 2 additional speakers besides, I said, the CEO of Literacy of Ambassadors of Ghana. And it definitely was a very informative, motivating, encouraging event. So if you listen to, especially that one, February the 15th, that live podcast show, part 1 and part 2, that was released thereafter, you're going to be really happy. And that was February the 24th. So I pretty much kind of named 4 so far, but they was the top of my favorite ones. And then I had another one, March. This is going to be the honorable mentioning one, which is March the 1st. That was, again, in a sense of talking about why literacy matters. So definitely beginning of this year, I had a lot of good interviews, And it really honed on the importance not just of literacy, which I love reading, I adore reading. It's so important, but it kind of really provided a way to open up that discussion and look at it from a different perspective, even though that they were representing a different country. I think literacy is worldwide in a sense of the importance to make sure that the children are learning on a level that they can comprehend, that they can understand, they can be motivated. Because words, to me, is like food from the soul, food for the soul. And it motivates you, it keeps you going. And this reading a quote can make you feel happy. And feeling happy is key to being hopeful. And being hopeful keeps you going to know, you know what, I'm not going to give up today. I'm going to keep going. All right. Another one, which I guess is going to wrap up my fifth one, is episode I did on April the 19th. To define your worth is important. I think by far, when you define your worth, you know that, you know what, I need to keep reading. I need to keep motivating. I need to be reading this quote. You see, when you define your worth, you know that you deserve the best. And with that, you will have a happier life. And sometimes we get things and we say, that's going to make me happy, that's going to make me happy. But you got to nurture yourself so you will feel that ingrained self of knowing who you are and what your worth is. Your worth is what you perceive, not what someone else would say. And we get into that mode because we are bombarded with stressful stimulators to worry about what other people think and da-da-da. Don't get me wrong. Those words from them can be hurtful, meanful, selfish. I can go on, but it's my last show. You know what? I want to be happy. And so when we look at it in a way that we define our worth, we know, well, I'm not going to put up with that. Or I know what I need to do this. Or I know you create your own blueprint. And that episode really go through the works of outlining ways, not only just why you should, but ways that you can do that and keep it clean. And when you keep it clean, you connect with other individuals that are on the same path of journey that they want to be and what they want to experience. And I think that's a great thing. And anybody that don't want to give you the respect that you deserve shouldn't be wasting your time. But you know what I mean? You just don't waste their time either. You probably won't, because you want to move on to something bigger and better and something deserving. And that's what you want. And so that episode was very, very good to define your worth. It's very important in the journey. And when you do that, you just like, on cloud nine, right? You just feel absolutely amazing. And you're able to know how long you're going to stay in a particular situation. And it keeps you moving. Just like I was saying in my last episode, when you look at water and it's moving in the ocean, you see the currents, and then it like recycles the waves and it comes back again. It's constantly moving. It's creating that circle in a sense of, you know, you're finding new ways to do things that represent who you are. And then once we know who we are, we definitely can be able to stand firm to say, this is what I know, that I am worthy of something much more positive moving. And you're saying that in a giving way. You're saying that to yourself. You're not in the opposite way, because opposite of that is greedy. You're not that. You're focusing on the self in the sense that is nurturing, that's a part of the whole collective of the humanity and the environment, because we're connected to the environment. We need the sun. The sun want to look at, I guess y'all really do need me too. You see what I'm saying? So you want to be able to be in that position that it's wonderfully connected to your mind, body, spirit, and soul, that you are worthy of great things, and not to settle. You don't settle. When we settle, that's when we bring in anything that most of the time is going to take advantage, because they haven't grown to the level of respect of someone else's ability of choice to be who they are. Right? And another one, this is an honorable one, I have to say. I know I'm over my 5. I just got to deal with it. Help me. the top 3, how to create fantastic teams. Without a team, it's really hard to build that foundation, especially if you're working on a bigger project. And building a fantastic team definitely take leadership, because you got to nurture everyone. You got to be able to communicate, connect, and understand the differences. Is that when you do the collaboration, you're taking pieces of the pie to make the whole pie again. And with that was a very good episode. That was on September the 14th, my premiere show, and I highly recommend you check that out as well. All right, so to go ahead and wrap this up, get ready for my summer break, taking 3 months off, June, July, August, return back on September the 13th, 2021 for my 5th show. So I'm going to need you to subscribe to my podcast shows. I got 2 on Podbean, right? Follow, subscribe, share, tell somebody else. You need to check this out. I really appreciate it. Go to my website and sign up for my newsletter. All right, and be a part of that. So when I do my webinar, all right, you sign up like I'm all in, Nichel, okay, and be a part of that. I also have some products, merchandise now on my website, nichelanderson.com. Check it out. Those cute t-shirts, you're gonna look cute in that. Go ahead, get you one of those. All right, wear it this summer. All right, tag me on Twitter. All right, do all of that and look good doing it. Okay, and going forward, let me give some shout outs to certain people, certain organizations, certain groups. The first one I will have to say is Audrey. Okay, they are a platform, it's AUDRI. They are a platform that really helps podcast hosts. So I highly recommend them, and they have tools that can help busy people like us. And you might think, I can't do this, how can I do that? Do I need to get a lot of interviews? And when I first started, I did mostly content, and I was just starting up everything, and I was doing podcasts like every week, which I finally was like, after 2 years, but I wanted to keep my commitment and my word that it was going to be a weekly, and then I had to change it and to say, this is I need a break. So, and I think that really helped me. So now it's bi-monthly. I still take my summer breaks off, which I think I definitely deserve. Can I get it saying yes? And then have it in a seasonal type way with times off and dates. And so Audrey really helps because they give you a platform that you can connect with guests, you can connect with different people, and have interviews. If you're more into, let me just really do an interview instead of content based, because that's mainly what I do here because I enjoy it. And the guest interviews helps too. And with them, you can definitely connect. So now I really don't have to worry about, I think I want a guest. I want to talk about this show. I just go right on Aubrey and log into there and look for people that is more matched up to what my show is about. And it's instant. I done got a friend in UK now. I got people not only that's in Africa, what have you. It's just, you just to be able to hook up with other podcast hosts that you can interview people on your show. So it is possible. If you think about doing a podcast, do it. That could be one of your actions that I mentioned, your dusk to dawn activity that I like to pull out, moving and get into it and make that change happen. And definitely check them out. They're just the awesome platform, awesome people to talk to, very positive, and they set up the platform so you can be able to connect with other hosts and collaborate and get your interviews done, right? Because it's hard to that's one thing I couldn't really get into interviewing the first 2 years is because it can be time consuming, because you got to network with person, you got to find the right person first. That's hard. I do make it easy. And then you have to okay, where are we going to talk? We're going to talk here. Do you say this? Oh, maybe we should do this. It's the planning of it. People don't got time for that. People get so busy and they're like, I just, or sometimes they do it and they can get for a while and then it's not consistent because it's been a year and it's going to take a lot of work. And it takes a while to be able to start getting to where you at, where you can be. That you have so many sponsors that, hey, I can do this, da da da. But nonetheless, it really does help the connection flow and it helps you in the community. So, a podcast host. So definitely check them out. I wanted to say a big thank you to them because they really helped me in connecting and seeing other people and other podcasts that you're so busy, you just don't have time. And then you go to the platform, you can find a lot of people. And they have this great match-up service that they match you up based on your preferences and connect you to by email, what have you, and then you're on your way. Then they have other tools that can do that and to keep track, like their own project management type platform that is easy kind of remember what's the last conversation that we talked about, because it's hard to go through your emails and find out what did we say last time, are you going to do this and that, you see. So highly recommend it if you're thinking about podcasting. If you're already a podcaster, I definitely recommend to join. They're great. They're on Twitter, they're on Instagram, and I really appreciate them. So a big shout out to them. Thank you for what you're doing. It's very positive. Keep going. The other one I want to thank is Podbean. Okay, like I said, I have two podcast shows. Two of them was on different ones. When I started, I couldn't make up my mind. Yeah, I just I wanted to just see how it was going to go, and plus I like the little platform that Speaker had at the time. It was so cute. And then with the player and stuff, and then Podbean, I was good with it. I liked it, and so I had I had my podcast on one and the other. Over time, it realized that. And I did research before I start podcasting that data is important. You got to know what works, what people are interested in, what people are tuning in, where they're coming from. All that works. And plus it's so motivating, right? Like I said before, do certain things that motivate you and encourage you to move forward. And it's motivating to see the data of how you're doing and how people are reacting for it. And people just wasn't going there. It was just, yeah, okay, yeah, uh-huh. And I would send them emails, and I would just talk to them, and I would even show, look, this is what I'm getting at my meeting. Can you da-da-da? And it was just like, well, we'll look into that, and da-da-da. And then over time, it's like, okay, what's the big process to move? And it just got to the point, I'm not really getting anything, right? Because I had to do other things to get the data that I want. And I'm still paying for this. It's like ridiculous. So I made the move, and I am what? Happy. Can I get a woo woo? All right. I know I hear somebody laughing, but it's true. So I moved my show onto Podbean, and I'm telling you, I'm just a happy camp over here eating 5 cookies. You hear me? The best cookies. All right. And I can get my info, what I need, and I can, if I need an update, everything is there, and it's presented that people go to my site, they can find it, and I'm happy. All right. So with that done and said, thank you so much for Podbean for listening when I had to send them notes to say, okay, this is not working, that's not working. I missed the live chat that you can speak to a tech at live, but I guess that was the leadership. Okay. And if you get my title, you know what? I need to do this. Every end of my finale, I need to do a reward. Ooh, that sounds good. Y'all see, this is live planning and initiative of what the next thing. At the end of my podcast, I need to give away, or at least give away in a sense, an award of who is the top prestige leader. Who wins the reward? What you going to get with it? But nonetheless, ooh, that's good. So those two won it. And I should advertise it. And they can listen to my whole podcast and like, what's she going to announce? We won the award. Oh my goodness. It was at the end of our show. That's the birth of creation there. Yeah. So it goes to Audrey. And the second one goes to Podbean as the prestige leader that not only helped me, but they helped someone else. I just created something. They don't even know it yet. I'm going to create. See, this is before it happened. See, you're watching this, all right? This is the director in me. Creator. Bringing it together. I got to create something gorgeous. And I'm going to post it on my Twitter. And I'm going to announce it the day of or the day before. And I say, well, you got to watch the podcast. But guess what? I'm naming you as the prestige leader. And if you follow my podcast here, Surviving Your Journey to a Success, I talk about the prestige leader all the time. Matter of fact, I have a book that's supposed to be releasing soon. I know you're saying, where is that book, Nichel? You said last year we are going to get that book. When you're working on it, you did say that. Can we get a date? It's coming on that. So nonetheless, they are, because going back to Avi, they looked at the need of podcast hosts. And it's not like, okay, you got to do this, you got to do that to be able to join. And they provided a platform that they generally want to help in a sense of connecting hosts together, that they can do the things that they love. Conversation is power. What I said earlier, words are power. And talking and getting that, it's therapeutic. It's very, very helpful. Go to YouTube. That's the most they doing is talking. Yeah, the camera's on them, but they're talking. Don't you feel better if you want those people that follow different YouTube channels or what have you, any type of video type platform? And so they did that, and they kept at it. And then the next year I see they roll out and they share, well, just what we also added. And it's all part of being positive and in a group collective of creativity moving together. And they did that. I did. And so they deserve to be and get that my award, Prestige Leader, okay, of my season 4. The next one should get that reward, Prestige Leader, Podbean. They could have did just like that other one I said, Spreaker. They're like, thank you for paying that. We appreciate that. We got a platform, da-da-da. But these are the needs that matter. And the statistics isn't what it should be. And we should be able to use it as a dashboard, as an administrative CRM, or whatever you want to use the term, to go and understand our podcast performance, right? And Podbean decided to invest in that and improve over time, these last 4 years. And when I emailed them, it was a different response. Let's get onto that. We'll get onto that, and we'll research it, and I saw the improvement. And then, over time, and then they decided, well, in order to do all of this, which is basically infrastructure and technology, is very expensive, right? I mean, let me tell you, it's very, and to do that and say, we're just going to move the resource that we might not have live chat anymore, but we feel that this is going to be an investment in the platform that's going to serve the customers that they are targeting and reaching out to, and that is podcast hosts. And sure enough, they did, and I am happy, okay? And it takes leadership to say it's not all about me, it's about the overall collective and how we can move forward. If we're providing a service, we got to make sure that the service that we're giving, that you're happy and that's what you need. And that's what Podbean did to me, to be able to move my other podcast show to here. And I got 2, and I can move this from this page to that page and get all of my data that I need, so I can make decisions of my show. Because that's what you are. You're basically a CEO of your podcast, moving forward, creating things that you need to create to talk about people. And Podbean did it. So those are the 2 of my Prestige Leader Award for my podcast season. You hear me? Woo! It just happened. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I love y'all. Thank you for being a part of my show. I hope I motivated you this year and encouraged you to have hope, to define your worth, to be motivated, to know your purpose in life, and to always be a part of the 360 boo. Love y'all. See you this summer, and see you in my season 5 podcast. Thank you.